Hello and welcome back to Wildsunne Art Studio. My name is Robinsunne. Please do like this video if you like this video, and comment and subscribe and share. So we are back. I am back. I personally am back to some slow stitching because, gosh almighty, it just seems to feel wonderful. Let's push us in a little bit. There we go. And I think we've got that light so that it's casting too much of a shadow. This is a herringbone stitch. This is just a little scrap of felt. But today seems like another one of those good days to be sewing. So I started up here, if you can imagine, sort of a box. So from the upper, I'm right-handed, so from the upper left to the lower right, and then you make a little stitch in there, so it came out. And this is a traveling stitch. A regular cross stitch, you would stay within the box, but with this herringbone stitch, if the the line of the box was here, I am traveling sort of outside the box, headed towards the right, because I'm right-handed. And so we go from the upper left to the lower right, and then the lower left to the upper right. And now upper left to the lower right, come out to the left. Whoops. Knots. I get going too fast, and then that confuses the thread, and I keep forgetting that going fast is actually going slow. Going slowly. So, how are you all today? I hope you are well. I am having, I think, what do they call it? A crisis of faith, maybe, or consciousness, or I don't know, I forget. Yeah, so I just thought I should probably kind of shut up. And so, like, not in too disrespectful a way, but just that trying to make sense of the world, my world, at this point in time might be a little fruitless. All right, so now I'm going to turn things upside down. No, I'm not. I'm going to, I've come out here, and I need to, I think I'm going to do something that goes around and around in circles or ovals or something. So I'm going to do a chain stitch. So I just put up a video as I'm making this right this minute. I made a video about a week and a half ago, and then kind of stalled out getting it put up. So I finally got that one out, and that was about slow stitching, slow, messy stitching. two. And actually, I thought it might be fun to show this to you. This is the finished product. So you saw that I'd used the screws as fabric decorations, just because why do things correctly? And you saw the metal candy wrapper, and you saw that I had sewn that little embroidery floss wrapper, but then I added a button there, and this ends up sort of looking like a person, guardian, something. And I filled up this space below it with all kinds of running stitches. I didn't go back to, I filled in some of this space here with the rest of the blanket stitches, but then down here I just used all running stitches. And you can see here that I just did these little tiny tight blanket stitches all the way around the black felt, and then just on this single layer of white felt. Anyway, so we move over here, and you can see these running stitches here, and I added some more little buttons because I had the button over there. So I added 4 little buttons and a whole bunch of, I think this is supposed to be blanket stitch here. I don't know. And you can see this little blanket stitch goes around the edge all the way. So yeah, that's the ta-da! I just kind of wanted to settle that and show the rest of that to you. So, chain stitch. Hey, it's snowing here. I just looked out the window. These big, fat, fluffy. We've had like little dustings, and this was supposed to turn into about an inch of snow. And I looked earlier this morning on the weather thing, and this is going to be less than an inch of snow. So actually, it's not like I'm complaining. I'm kind of delighted that Mid-Coast Maine is not getting a lot of snow. At least not right here on the coast. I'm about a mile away from ocean water as the crow flies. But if you go like even another mile inland, people come into town with, like all kinds of snow on their cars. And I'm like, where do you live, Augusta? But I think they live pretty closely. But they get snow that actually accumulates, and we do not. It either warms up really fast around here, or it just turns into rain in the first place. So far, we have not had an awful lot of anything other than rain. We're getting precipitation. It's just all wet. So if stitching like this seems lovely to you, and you have available brain cells to help you, get this all sort of measured out and looking beautiful like you meant it, there's this thing that I have done that I can show you, is I will take a ruler, and one of these rulers that's see-through is very nice. Actually, I have a little ruler that's see-through, but it's just a little 6-inch ruler. But what you can do is decide that maybe the next row of whatever has to be, well, actually, let's do it in centimeters just because you can read that really well. Has to be a centimeter away. So what I do is I take pretty much any pencil, and can you see that? Right there is a little dot, and I just make little dots. And what I found is that as I sew around, it lets me, it gives me a pattern based on what I've done before. But because it's only a little dot, I can kind of move the stitch a little bit to make sure that the embroidery floss is covering the little dot. So I just do that, is I make dots. Now when I'm doing one of those circular, hold on, I'll show you. La la la. I think I showed you this one last time. So when I'm doing a circular one, you can really tell if my circle starts getting too wonky, and sometimes that doesn't matter to me and sometimes it does. So whenever it does matter, when I'm having one of those days where it matters, I can make these little dots, and I'll show you in a sec once I get around the edges here. Just kind of helps me go where my intentions would like it to go. And it's a pretty invisible way of marking a lighter colored felt. Or you can just make a messy little stitchery thing, and it can all be about moving your hands, moving your eyes, moving your brain, trying to find meaning in the world that makes sense to you. Oh, I don't know. What do I do? Listen to the news or something? Maybe that's what makes me so sad. Or maybe it doesn't have anything to do with what's going on in the outside world. It has more to do with what's going on inside my own heart. But in any case, this sewing feels like a place where I have some sense of personal power. I mean, I get to choose the colors, I get to choose the fabric, I get to choose where I'm going. So that's very nice. Oh, I wanted to show you this. So I've come around and I want to link these two stitches to make it look like the rest of them. So I turn my needle around. So this is the eye of the needle. And I go in underneath the little U shape of the stitch ahead. And then I go back to the point of the needle and go down into that loop right there. And pull it through. And this is so cool. You sort of can't tell where it stops and starts. Yay! So let's go up here. I hope you can see that's where that line of dots is. let's do some blanket stitch. Okay, so I've got a little dot there that I would like to cover up with my stitching, but that's helping me know how tall I want these stitches. There, and that's pretty well covered up. So I was feeling frustrated with myself this morning about feeling kind of gnarly and sad. And I wrote this question in my journal, and I thought I would offer it to you in case, I don't know, there was any level of discomfort or frustration or whatever about you and your own life. So the question is, what is fabulous about me? And you know, on my list, one of the things that's most fabulous about me is, well, the first thing I wrote down was my hair. I have naturally curly hair. And I grew up in the 60s when naturally curly hair was like freakazoid. But then it was the 70s after that, and naturally curly hair was a good thing. So, who knows? Oh no, I didn't pull that all the way through. How did I do that? Well, imperfection reigns complete. It seems to me that that's sort of a, I don't know, a helpful thought, imperfection. Like, stop trying so hard. Alright, hold on, we have to rethread. So when I sew, I most often use 3 strands of embroidery floss. There's 6 in total in floss. And I use 3 of them. I find that that's enough to, you know, make a stitch of some weight. And 6 is, for me, often too many. It's sort of heavy, too heavy of a stitch. Where are we? We are here. Okay, so I finished off this blanket stitch by just coming across right here to sort of hold that line of thread. But now when I want to start up again, I'm going to come on the inside of this little sort of trapezoid rectangular space. And then I can keep on making my little stitches. there's another little dot, so I'm going to bring my thread up right kind of in the middle of the dot. And then it magically disappears. So yeah, I was talking about what is fabulous about me, and I mean, I'm not the best embroideress in the world or anything even close, but I do enjoy the heck out of embroidery stitching. And, you know, I know a bunch of stitches. All right, now I don't have any more dots, so we'll see how. I mean, I could have gone back in there and made little dots, but I decided to see what my hand and eye coordination could do all by themselves. My kids for a little while went to a Waldorf school, and they start the kids out embroidering very early on. There's this whole handwork curriculum at the schools. I loved that part of the Waldorf school. That was great. I was really glad they did it. Kids all did clay work and woodwork and learned how to knit, and it was really fun. Every once in a while I'd have some excuse to be on campus, or I'd be helping out in the handwork class or something like that, and I'd get to see this whole classroom full of 7 and 8 year olds or whatever, with their dear little heads bent over some piece of handwork. It was very, very sweet to watch. Anyway, that's something that I appreciate about myself a whole lot. When I almost died 6 years ago, the handwork and artwork that I do is one of the things that made me most want to stay here for longer. Ooh. So see, I got taller. How much taller did I get? Well, instead of 10 millimeters, I'm up to about 12 millimeters. So, I don't care. So, was there anything else I wanted to show you? Ooh, I have a book to show you, but that's going to take a minute. Actually, I have a couple of journals that they're just little journals. They're not of great consequence, but I thought it might be fun to show you. Ooh, now I'm going to do a back stitch, which I love. So I'm basically headed off to the left, and a back stitch is called a back because you go back basically 1 step, and then you jump forward 2 steps. So it's kind of like a running stitch. It looks like it's going to be a running stitch, but no. You go back 1 stitch and forward 1 stitch. So I'm going to put this video out very soon because I am teaching a class on messy slow stitch mandalas, and those are made in a circle, not necessarily in an oval shape, but you know, in class we can do whatever we want because we are the queens of our own minds, or kings if there are any men in my class list. Yeah. So we can make whatever decision we want to make. But anyway, that's next Tuesday evening from 6 to 7 Eastern Time. It can be a Zoom class for you if you either live very far away, like in another state, or if the weather is kind of awful, then we can set ourselves up, or you can set yourself up on as a Zoom attendant. And I'll leave the link in below for how to get to the sign up page with the Camden Public Library for this class. I think they're asking if you come in person for a $10 fee, which isn't much, but they're giving everybody needles and thread and felt and everything, so not so bad. For heaven's sakes, why do I insist upon pulling through? There we go. So see, this makes kind of a straight line, albeit a messy straight line, but yeah, but anyway, I will link this class on Tuesday, but that's only a couple of days away. So I better post this video pretty fast. So I will do that. Maybe tomorrow. Depends how long it takes to upload this video. So that's enough. Time to go. I wish you many happy hours of stitching this winter, and yeah, that's probably enough. So I blow these wishes across the planet to you. Have a great day, and I hope I see you next Tuesday. All right, bye.